Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome, everyone, to this very special Wisdom Transmissions gathering where we are going to be doing another wonderful, exciting interview with Janine Morigeau, Tarot by Janine. She's going to be she's standing by right now, so she'll be on here in just a few minutes' time. I want to thank you all again for being here. For those of you who are watching this now on YouTube, I just invite you to go ahead and look at the chat on the YouTube, and you'll find a pinned link to the Zoom registration form. So just click on that link. You'll be able to get on Zoom for free, and that is where you can interact with Janine. Right? I have quite a few people that come onto the YouTube chat and trying to ask Janine questions through the YouTube chat, but you need to be on Zoom. Okay, that just keeps everything nice and organized. When we get into the Q&A with Zoom, or Q&A with Janine on Zoom, a reminder too for everybody who is on the Zoom chat, just making sure that your questions are semi-personal or general. Okay, we're not doing any personal questions today. Those are for private sessions, of course. So again, making sure semi-personal, general questions. And for those of you who are on YouTube, again, welcome. Make sure you're just clicking on the link there to take you onto Zoom. It's free. You don't have to pay for anything, don't worry. And you'll be able to interact with Janine live here in just a few minutes. So first and foremost, we're just going to start off with some announcements, and then we'll be getting right into our interview here shortly. So first announcement is the complete introduction of Radiate. So again, if you guys have been tuning into my channel, you know that I've been talking about the new Radiate app by Eclipse. So you can find out more about this revolutionary scalar and biomagnetic rejuvenation app that replenishes cells, organs, glands, bodily systems, and subtle bodies. Radiate will be available in both a free and premium version through the app when the app launches in April of 2024, and you can sign up through our website to get all the updates. So again, if you go to radiateapp.com, which is just on my screen right now, you can go through the entire app. It gives you a brief summary about everything pertaining to Radiate, so I'm not going to spoil it all for you. But if we just go down to the sign up button here through the navigation bar, just going down to sign up, and you can sign up for Radiate updates. So you can stay up to date on the latest updates surrounding the Radiate app and Regen centers. So I'm actually going to be creating healing centers through this particular technology. That is going to be kind of the advanced version of the technology, which is called the Radiate Regen commercial app, which people who have healing centers all over the world will be able to apply for and being able to have this incredible technology in their healing centers. I've already started doing beta tests on the Radiate free and premium versions, both for myself and for my fiancée Brianne, and we have had incredible experiences with the Radiate system. So this is going to be something that is going to be rolling out. We're going to have our own healing center here in our own residence, rolling out here in April. So that people can actually come over to our residence and they can actually experience the commercial version, the Regen version of Radiate themselves, starting in early April. So that is also available on the website, tells you more about it. And again, I'm going to be creating another website just for the Radiate Regen centers. So no matter where you are in the world, when we get to that point when I roll out the Radiate Regen centers website, you'll be able to fill out a commercial application. You pay a certain commercial fee, and then you're going to be able to not only use the Radiate commercial version for your own healing center, but you'll be able to use all Etherics products as well too, and you would also get a wholesale discount. So that is coming in April. And of course, right now on radiateapp.com, you can check out everything that you want to know about Radiate, from the free version to the premium version to an FAQ section to about the Regen centers, and of course sign up for updates as well too. It's very, very exciting. I've worked really, really hard on this. This is where I've been dedicating my life towards for the past couple of months, just working with Radiate extensively. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Check it out, radiateapp.com. Okay, moving on. We're going to go ahead and get started for today. I don't think we don't need to do any more announcements. So I'm going to go ahead now and just switch over to Zoom. And I am greeted with our special guest today, or I'm greeted by Janine. Janine, welcome once again. It's great to have you on once again. And I know there's been so much events going on around the world. You know, I think neither of us can really catch up to all the stuff that's happening all over the world. I know a lot of people are going to be bustling with a lot of questions today. How have things been going with you for the past few days, Janine? Anything new happening with you? Oh, it feels like that too. I'm feeling that every single day. And I'm noticing that we're just getting closer and closer to that time where everything is going to dramatically shift. I was doing a Zodiac Tarot yesterday about how things are going, the end of corruption, and it's been such a very, very positive reading. We're seeing it's kind of a cleanup decade right now that we're in, but we're going to be moving into brighter times for sure. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get started with your questions. So again, if you guys do have questions for Janine, then all I want you to do is just go ahead and click on that Q&A button in the Zoom window. Okay, so again, if you're with us on Zoom, click on that Q&A button, type in your question there, post it on the Q&A. That is where I'm going to be answering, because I know some of you guys may want to post it in the chat of Q&A. That's really not where it belongs. Please make sure you're using the Q&A button or the Q&A app here on Zoom. So let's start off firstly with Anne Nolan. Anne has a question here for Janine. She says, "Hello, Janine. Lately there have been prophecies around the world, including from Africa, about Sweden. It will start in Sweden and Scandinavia for the year 2024, that the light will come from there. And then it will spread all over the world." So I'm not too sure if she's talking about Africa or Sweden or Scandinavia. So including from Africa, about Sweden. I think she's talking about Sweden. That the light will come from there. And then it will spread all over the world. What can you see in your cards about this, about the light spreading all over the world starting in Sweden? Thank you so much. Okay, great. Thank you, Anne. We'll take a look at that. So again, guys, just a reminder, please put your questions in the Q&A button on Zoom. Mm. Exactly. I feel that too. And I think there's going to be quite a few different places of where it is going to shine. So again, Anna, a very, very unique question. Thank you very much for that. Let's go to Mita now. Mita says, can Janine look into the different calendars? And if we are indeed going to move into a 13-month, 28-day calendar, if there's going to be a change in the calendar system that may be coming up here soon.
To do that. So all of that feels like that'll be an ongoing choice, and communities will choose to do that. I don't think it'll be a global thing, at least not right away.
Okay, okay. So we had some complaints. I guess some people weren't able to hear the audio from the last question because I just had to turn on an extra channel here. So basically, we just had a question in regards to the light regarding Sweden. So sorry, what we were saying before that, because I think you guys missed Janine because the audio was muted, but it's on now. So basically, we were saying that there's a question regarding Sweden, if Sweden will be the light where it will shine across the entire world. And so what Janine was basically saying is that this will be a time we're seeing right now of not just Sweden, but even quite a few other different countries to where the light itself is being shined. Was I getting that right, Janine?
Yeah,
The last
and
question?
it's already happening.
Yeah, exactly. Great.
Mhm.
Okay, my apologies for that, guys. Just making sure everything is good with the audio. Okay, so anyways, so again, the other question was about the 13-month calendar system and 28-day calendar system, if there's a new calendar system that's coming together. And the answer is not right away. I think that's something that people would have to agree with. And I think that's something you probably have to wait quite a while because we're still on the Gregorian system. the Gregorian calendar. I think that's still going to take some time before that starts to fade away. There's a lot of other things that need to basically transition first, and that's kind of
Mhm.
not really the major important thing right now about
Yep.
getting onto a 13-month calendar. So, yeah, exactly. Okay, let's take a look here at Benedict's question. Benedict has a question. Can you tell us the momentum ahead for Bitcoin? It has been increasing a lot in the recent days.
Yeah, I actually did a big show with Jean-Claude on Bitcoin. We do I- Astro no. I get crypto woo. That's it, crypto woo. So we Jean-Claude looks at it intellectually and keeps track of the like cryptos, all kinds of cryptos, including Bitcoin, and he has for years and years. So I don't bring that intellectual prowess to it, but I just use the cards, and he asks me really cool questions about these things going forward for the next month. And what I did get around it was it would go up and go above its all-time high, which I think has already happened since I even did that video. And also it would go down a little bit and then carry on upward again.
Mm.
And I feel like it'll maybe never be below some of those all-time highs. Like I feel like it's going to be a big system used in the future.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's still something that is ahead for us. I think that's something that we have to wait a little bit longer for. Like I said, we have to kind of focus on the current monetary system because
Yeah.
that's what the majority of the people of the planet are using. So I think in time we'll see a lot more, not just with Bitcoin, but XRP. XRP is another big one that a
Yeah.
lot of people like to talk about. So there's quite a few different digital currencies that will be much more readily available. But right now, we're basically still working with the current monetary system, and that is really what needs to shift first. But yeah, things are definitely coming in that direction. This one here is from Nicole. Nicole says, since we are approaching tax season in Canada, let's take a pulse on the Canada Revenue Agency here in Canada. Will the CRA publicly stop hounding Canadians for personal income tax collection by the end of 2024? And any other insights the cards might want to share with us on this subject. All right, thank you, Nicole.
Okay, so before I answer that one, I'm not a financial advisor.
Yeah, neither of us are.
So yeah, neither of us are, and we're not going to advise on what to do with your taxes, but I'm going to read the cards on that. What is the health of the CRA? That would be an approach.
Yeah.
Like, is it a functioning thing that's got teeth and going to keep doing what they do? Is it going to change? That's how I'm going to approach it, okay?
Okay.
So see the Three of Cups there? And we got, so reason to celebrate within three. Okay, I don't know if that's months or years yet. Let's keep looking. It could be months even with this card, because this is almost because 10 is the end of something. So it's maybe a really you could celebrate more in 3 months. We're going to know more about where it sits in 3 months. And for the next little bit here, and that could even mean the next 3 months, yeah, they will be going after people. They could even be going after hard. Okay. But this card's interesting. I asked this to be the advice. I feel like delaying and putting it off might be an idea. The
Mm-hmm.
Fool. I didn't get that notice. So what are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? You're going to have to ride it out here. Okay. I feel like within 10 months, we're going to know exactly where it sits and it'll be used for a whole different thing. So they might utilize some of the, like tools of the CRA, but I don't think it'll be used. It'll be more for the people and it's going to be used for an entirely different purpose going forward. And the way they handle taxes is going to be entirely different, but that's going to take months, not years though, it looks like, but months. Even in the next three, though, I feel like 3 months, we're going to have a real clear vision of, how the changes are going to look.
I think it's probably with the falling away of the current administration, right? The JT
Yeah.
administration as well. So I think once that falls away, we're going to see a lot of different overhauls, perhaps with the CRA, even a collapse of what it currently is. And if anything, I think it would be more so they actually owing you guys money rather than
Yeah.
it's being the
That's
other way
kind of what
around.
all those pentacles look like.
Exactly. It looks like there would be cashbacks, right? Some cash returns as well too. And I think that's also, we can say, pretty similar to the IRS with the
Yeah.
Americans as well too. Kind of the
Mhm.
same story. So I've been getting that as well too. So there will be a lot of cash returns coming. But again, these old administrations have to go. The new administrations come together, and I think that will be part of one of the perks that the new administrations will have, both for Canada and the U.S. So great. Thank you very much for your question there. This one here is from anonymous attendee. Anonymous attendee says, can you please offer any insight on whether Phil Godlewski will prevail in his lawsuits against the Scranton Times and other who are slandering him? I have no idea what that means. Do you know what that is, Janine?
Hey, yeah, and I'm going to say I'm not going to read on other truthers.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are going after him, and there's that big, I call it a cockfight between him and Nick. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, good idea.
If
I
you
have no
like,
idea what that's even about. So
yeah, if you like the info he brings, great. If you don't, great. Like, I'm not going to sit around.
yeah, we don't bury people here, so that's important,
They both
guys.
have done good work,
Yeah.
and some of it's maybe not good, and
Yeah.
all of that is up to your discretion what you do with it.
Exactly, and like I said, I always tell people let's not ask questions like that, because like we're not in the habit of burying
Yeah,
people here. This
yeah.
one here is from Maria Kaisa. Maria says there is a new organization called the International Space Federation, the ISF. It's the website is spacefed.com. It's based in Geneva in Switzerland. They say their organization will play a huge role in the development of humanity in the future. They say that their work will change everything in the world. Is it true? And if so, how is their organization and what is going to change everything?
So they do look like they're of the good, because this is our good military. So they could be like light workers, like digital soldiers, like they're of the good
Mm-hmm.
and shifting things, or their intention is to shift things for the better. So I don't know if that helps at answer the question.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming from, so that's interesting. They're coming from, so I wonder if they have a really big, I feel like a lot of really wealthy elite people that knew what was going on and knew that there's a lot of corruption at those levels of the kind of income they're involved in, um, started things like this that you're mentioning, for good, because it feels like a very wealthy person funded this thing, to maybe make up for what their family was into, or the damage a lot of those elites were doing. And that's interesting, because I'm finding that might be the case, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, this card here in the middle, we've got the moon card. So there's a lot of misinformation and mystery in the public about that. So, but around the outside, what we were seeing is they were for good. So if that answers the question. And down the road, it'll become more in the public knowing how, just exactly what they stand for and how much good they do.
Great, great. No, it sounds like there's quite a few organizations that are again helping in the background. There's a fellow also by the name of Jason Shurka. He has again kind of like been a spokesperson for for Unified Healing, and also for Sandra Rose Michael's work pertaining to the EE systems. And he's even talked about a group called the Light System, where he's basically interacted with people. One person, I think he said, was a rabbi who was over 600 years old. So that's very interesting. Maybe they're using some sort of interesting healing technology themselves. Maybe something that's ahead for us, where we can actually start to live maybe up to 1,000 years. So there's a lot of exciting organizations and groups in the background. I think they are going to be revealing themselves a lot more down the road. So again, exciting times, exciting time to be alive right now. Let's take a look at Deborah. Deborah says here, do you see major market correction coming for the, okay, I have another cryptocurrency question here. So do we have another cryptocurrency, do we have another major market correction coming for the cryptocurrency market in the next year?
I think there's going to be some that go completely by the wayside and get left behind because they've either involved in dysfunction, or maybe they're still part of the old system. In other words, they're too tied into the corrupt or the deep state governments, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But victory for some of the other ones, and I'm thinking it's kind of a 60 60-40 split, where 40 of them go by the wayside and 60 of them get picked up.
Mm.
And that's ones that already have agreed to be more sovereign for the people and or less like on the long run, it feels like the more sovereign and apart from and or independent from the old corrupt system that's going down, that the crypto is tied to. And in the background, what it's been used for and being used for, I feel like that's where you're going to see those ones are going to excel. And some of them that are really tied into the old system or will tie you into the old system, I feel like those are not going to last.
Okay, great, excellent. So thank you very much for your question. This one here is from Dorit. Dorit says, what's the real story in Israel? And is this really the end game of this whole debacle, as she says? The whole regime, you could say basically the mafia, the mob relating to Israel. Yeah.
I've been reading on Israel for quite a while, and what I always get consistently is that it was actually taken down some time ago, about the time Trump did his victory, where he went around to all these countries and capitulated, like the royal family, for instance, in the UK, and all of these different things like the WEF and the UN. And he actually capitulated those organizations, and they've been, I believe, puppeted by even the Alliance and the White Hats to some degree, or largely outing themselves. And if you watch what's going on politically all over the world and with these big organizations, they've been outing themselves, and to a degree that wouldn't ever happen if it was actually, if say the WEF was actually had teeth anymore. Would they let the cat out of the bag on their demonic plans the way they have?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. To me, it feels like it's like a clown show. It's like a three-ring circus.
Yeah.
To me, it just feels like they're just going on there
Yeah.
and say, okay, part of your amnesty is you going on the air and just revealing your Dr. Evil-like plans, right, to
Yeah.
people, just so people exactly see what you were planning on doing, when you were planning on doing it, who you were going to use relating to those things, just so you guys can kind of humiliate yourself before we take you down completely.
Yeah.
So it
And I
feels like
think
an
that's
amnesty deal with them. Yeah.
what they're doing with Israel.
Yeah,
Israel,
exactly.
I don't think exists in the way that I think the whole thing's designed to show you what it really was, how it was created. And the fact that Jacob Rothschild, who admitted, in several interviews apparently, and even ones that circulate today, admitted to basically creating Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Khazarian mafia created Israel.
Yeah, it's basically a bloodline
definitely,
family
yeah,
creation, a
yeah.
bloodline family ploy, so to speak. So a lot of
They
things have been
exited
happening.
him.
Israel has been used as a proxy country for their deeds for
Yeah,
a very, very, very long time, even going back into the time of Christ, right? So
yeah,
it's all it's a big facade, is what it all is.
yeah.
Let's go to anonymous attendee. Now, for anonymous attendee, I think you're referring to 2024, not 2023. But so, will the financial system crash in March or April of this year? Any information on events and when? Thank you.
Nope. That one was upside down. That's a large amount of money. Okay, so it looks like we'll know about a new system by then. So the world will know. And now we got a big yes. So yes, it will. And I'm thinking around April, sometime in April. So yes, and they'll even be announcing a new system that's likely gold backed, because this or metal backed. Okay, and the world will know, because I believe that system's already been introduced on some level. And then a big yes to the actual question they asked. And let's see what else we get. Yeah, we're so close here too. I feel like it, and even with these two cards, so let's add the 8 and the 9 and go maybe around the 17th of April or by that time.
Great, excellent.
Around the timing, so yeah.
We'll look into that and seeing again that there does feel like there's some shifts around. Like BRICS Alliance last year was talking a lot about hints about their new types of currency that they're trying to bring out as well. But I don't think it's just going to be around them. I think it's going to be some other particular organization that's going to be working together. Like I said, it's kind of like you're seeing the funds moving from the west to the east. And it feels like there's Eastern coalitions perhaps coming together and creating something brand new that may be showing up here very, very soon. So Very interesting. This one here is from Judy. Judy says, I just want to ask if there will be a second sun appearing in 2024. A second sun happening this year.
Something's going to go on with the moon we should watch for.
Mm-hmm.
She's more of a moon card.
Yeah.
And maybe 2 years down the road, you could see that second sun. I believe there is two suns. I've actually took pictures of it
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah.
it showed itself. That could take another, because this card says down the road more, down the road. See the
Little thumb up
what's
there.
going on? That's an app,
That's
right?
a Zoom thing, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So down the road, but there, watch for things nodding what the moon really is. That'll be interesting. And it'll take time. This card says it'll take time down the road here, a couple of years maybe, for the second sun to really show itself, or
Yeah.
stay in a position where we could actually prove there is two of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've always gotten readings too as well that we're in a trinary star system, so we would have about three of them. So they may show up at certain times. They're just at different angles in regards to what we can see. And again, at certain times they may show up. We've had videos on YouTube and before showing something that looked like an evidence of a second sun. So it's quite interesting. All right, let's move on to Neil Roberts. Neil says, what is your view on Danielle Smith and the province of Alberta? As they seem to be a lighthouse in the country, they recently hosted one of the, what's his name? The guy from Fox News. What was his name? Can't remember his name now.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson, that's it. Yeah, they recently hosted him. So they're just wondering if Alberta is going to be the lighthouse for the country of Canada.
Okay, so what I've been getting, so I've been looking at, I'm from Alberta originally. So I watched Danielle Smith really closely. And she's a politician, just like they all are, and comes and cut from the same cloth as all of them. But I believe all of the government in Canada and the US and maybe all over the world, in fact, that's what I've been getting in the cards, are capitulated. And they're puppeting these people. So they choose different places to put the boots to and really show the deep state. And then other places like states in the US, it would be Texas. In Canada, it's Alberta. And that's interesting because Alberta is known as Little Texas because we're also very rich in oil. And there's a lot of likeness, and a lot of oil people go between Houston and Calgary, Alberta. Anyway, so there's a big connection there. And it's funny that they're using both of those places to be sort of the good guys. It's almost like part of the movie, right? So they're showing this is what it would look like if your state, or in this case, province, had some good government, okay? But if you really watch Danielle Smith, she also does some really sleazy things. Right. So don't trust any of them.
There's a mixture always with it. Yeah. It's kind of like the Pierre Poilievre as well too. There's some good things about him and other things not so much.
They all got to go eventually.
Pretty much. It's a transitional government, I think is what we're seeing. So it's kind of like in the meantime we'll put this placeholder here while we funnel out a lot more stuff. Because I've always been talking about, I think that's a question I wanted to ask you too, Janine, is about a government shutdown. Basically where we're looking at like the legislature and there's empty seats. And there's empty rooms, or if we're looking again at the House of Commons, and there's empty rooms, there's empty seats. Does the Tarot see anything happening like that this year about an empty legislature, an empty House of Commons, empty government shutdown?
Okay, same two cards, interesting as that other one. Celebrating, we're really close to it. 10 say we're so close there. It's not right there, but we're going to be celebrating that soon, so it's absolutely going to be in this year. 3, within 3 even. That's in the past, and this is in the middle of these two. So 2 3s. So I'm going to say, so it's in the middle of those two. I'm going to say within 3, so that could be weeks or months.
Feels
I'm
like
going to
put
months with this one underneath it.
Yeah, it feels like it's getting closer and closer to that each and every day.
Yeah.
Because just how ridiculous it's all getting. I mean, they're basically have like this much paperwork against JT right now.
Yeah.
And so, okay, well, let's see. He did that whole thing with the Winnipeg Labs.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, what does he have to do? before they'll waltz them out of there. It makes no sense what they're doing right
Yeah,
now
they're
in the
even
US
interviewing the
or
RCMP head as well too, and so why wasn't he? Why weren't you guys going ahead and talking to him about this stuff? It's again the
fascinating.
clown show. Here you go,
Yeah.
right? So another question is basically an ATM situation where it feels like money will be very, very hard to get, and that maybe there's some sort of bank shutdown that's coming here very soon, and that people are kind of scrambling to ATMs trying to get money, and that there could be long lineups for that. Is there some type of ATM scandal that may be coming here very soon?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Two major arcanas, and it will be really shocking because the system is deep state. Okay, so that's the past. So the system is, and then this would be in the middle. So that's the
Oh yeah,
past
yeah.
because the deep state system's going down. So the crash would be going down. A yes to the, so there, yes, there will be. And she's the empress. So that's interesting. It'll lead to better things further into late summer, August, but it could be a bit of a bit tense for a lot of the summer.
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting to as well. I
Not
feel
going to
like
be that comfortable. Like you're going to
it'll be
need
some
to do
challenging
some of the
times.
things we've said to do.
Yeah. The good news
Yeah.
also I've seen is that I don't think it's going to last very long. It might only just be a few weeks. But I've always told people I think it's a good idea now just to take some extra money out of your bank account just so you have some physical cash
Yep.
on you, depending upon how much you have in your bank account. But it's good to kind of put that aside for a rainy day or maybe a rainy
Yep.
day that's like a month or so long. So there's those feelings, the feelings of
Yep.
empty government shutdown and the feelings of an
Yep.
ATM scandal. When I was doing reflections on 2024, those two really, really stood out. So very
You
interesting.
might need to remember how to trade
Yeah.
and like barter.
Barter trade, yeah.
Yeah.
Do some contributing with your neighborhood.
Yep.
Okay, here's one from Robin Thomas. Robin says, "How will the carpentry apprentice industry experience the shift before, during, and after the rise of the quantum financial system and the 5D Earth?" So, will carpentry be affected with this quantum financial change?
Okay, so right at the beginning, you're when everything's changing, so that's like digital soldiers, but also like the good military, okay? And we're going to have tribunals, it looks like. So there's going to be a period of time when a lot of that could be shut down while people learn the truth about. I feel like the tribunals have been going on anyway, but while people learn the truth about things, so in the next year. But going forward, so move forward, so that might take months to get through everybody really understanding why were tribunals happening. We didn't agree to them. Like they're going to need to prove why they had to take care of these pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have said that
Oh,
word
that's fine.
in whatever format you're doing here. But like we had to take care of these demonics basically, and that we were enslaved. And while everybody figures that out, so down the road, people doing those kind of trades are going to be really busy again.
Yeah,
And the
because
more
I don't see
hands,
it going
the
anywhere.
better.
It's going to get a lot more stronger, if anything.
Yeah, the more hands on, the better.
Exactly. So yeah, you don't have to worry, Robin. It'll be in good hands. This one here is from Susan. Susan says, "How does Biden leave the stage? Health, crimes, or as a result of events happening? How do we see him exit stage left, so to speak?" Thank you. Okay, thank you, Susan.
Man, you'd think it would have happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
They need to take a big, uh,
Big
yeah,
cane,
what is
cane
that
off the
called?
stage, right? Get the
Yeah,
big
just
cane.
get him out of there.
Right, just starts talking. Off you go.
Yeah. So we've got the five. So many people, like even people that voted for him, which I don't think there was that many in
Probably
20.
not really.
But they're really feeling disappointed, and everybody, even after last night, I think they were waiting. So the last of the few holdout Dems who actually thought that's a real guy and he's doing real things, even they probably had to admit, okay, that whoever that is wearing a mask. I
Yeah,
mean, his
it's
chin
an
wasn't
avatar.
hitting right again. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was horrifying, and it's obvious that is not like an actual human. I mean, or well, he could be a human,
Whatever he
but
is, just
whoever
an
he is, he's
actor at
playing a
least.
role.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrifying. So I feel like that's we're already there as far as everybody's ready to let him go. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's been fumbling around for so long. Okay, so now we've got, here's the outcome, and let me see what's around it here. The outcome. So his deeds really all finally add up. Okay, but that's interesting. I feel like the whole world, though, goes in this different direction, and he kind of just gets taken out the back door.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's very dramatic, and that might be make you sad.
Yeah.
But I feel like events, so that goes with maybe what the person said, which is events. So things go in a totally different direction, and we don't even care what they do with Biden because we're too busy
Hmm.
navigating the fact that we just realized all the politics are theater. Everybody, all the um, governments are coming down all over the world. The banks went down probably before this happens, and that'll probably lead to all the other stuff. So I feel like we're already in all these other events. So they just sort of take them out the back door.
Yeah, because like I said, it's not even really him that you need to look at who's making these decisions. This guy doesn't even know what room he's in, really.
Yeah.
It's the people that are controlling him, right? It's a mafia behind the scenes. Those are the ones that really you could say the
Yeah.
counter forces, the alliances in that sense, are really
Yeah.
going after. They're going after those guys. Because once those guys no longer have any power, then that's where you see the
Yeah.
puppet basically having the strings cut and now just being taken off the stage. It's the same thing with JT, with Castro, right? The same thing is
Yeah.
again he's just a puppet. He's a stage. Like I said, he basically came on the public news and basically said, "Oh well, we're doing these carbon taxes to basically serve the wealth of the 1%."
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah. They're
basically,
outing themselves on
and to me,
purpose.
it's basically saying this is exactly what the counterforces are telling him to say to
Yeah.
say. Right? It's a script.
Yeah.
It's just becoming so painfully obvious now. Let's go to anonymous attendee. Will we experience organized religions that will fade away in our lifetime, perhaps within the next 10 to 20 years? The end of organized religions.
A lot of people already walking away. So this card walks away and looks inside themselves. So during the awakening, and as we awaken as humans, we and the universe agrees,
Yeah.
we walk away from things like that because it's like less intervention and more sort of self-reflection and realizing that inside of you is what you could call God, goddess. It's inside you. You channel it directly. You don't need, so organized religions, now you got, it's just like organized governments and organized all of these systems that have been controlling us. It's just another mechanism of control. Okay, so you got to go through somebody and who have been outed largely. So all these upper echelon people in these organizations largely been outed as real baddies. We'll just say that. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just nothing like what they appear. Okay, so when you take those guys out of the picture, you got to actually find your spiritual connection yourself, and that's actually where we're going here. And it's going to be a lot sooner than a lot of people might drag it out, and it individually depends because they have to get over, feeling like they wanted to be guided, or they can't do it themselves, or they're disappointed, and they're going to have to get over and heal, realizing they were fooled by these organizations. Okay, but so that's in the past. So where we long held, I think even within 3 years, you're looking at almost everybody's come to terms with these things are just not, but there's still going to be some people that have a really hard time with it.
Yeah,
So it'll
because it
be
really is it
individually.
really is a business when we're looking
Yeah,
at organized religion, right? So again, it's
yeah.
like one of the major economies that have been fueling everything, right? Not just war, not just poverty, not just all of that, but also religion. So it'll be
Trafficking.
something that will be on the way up, but will take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's another question I have again with your talks with Jean Claude. And everybody, you guys can check out Jean Claude's channel on Rumble because Janine does have is part of the network there, and it's Beyond Mystic. So you just go
Mhm.
to Rumble, type in Jean Claude Beyond Mystic or Janine Beyond Mystic. You can check out the channel. Have you guys been looking into the forecasts ahead for 2024? Is there big events that you've seen that are maybe looking to unfold here as we get closer to the end of 2024?
Oh yeah. So I really do think we're up against where it really does emerge that we've been watching a big movie, especially the biggest part of the theater is politics.
Mm-hmm.
And possibly that's been happening since the dawn of politicians. Like
Yes.
I'm thinking it was built right into it. It's all been theater.
Mm.
We're also finding out well, I've discovered this some years ago looking into the royals, but people are starting to discover that what they say the royals are like or their families like or nothing like that. None of the kids are really theirs. They're not the gender you think they are. They're not, it's all fake.
Yes.
Okay, the whole thing. Nobody's actually literally got the kids from their supposed spouse. Like it's all contrived and fake. It's unbelievable. So we're going to find out a lot of that, I feel like this year, like the general population, not just the truthers. So that's going to be a lot to digest. Then, of course, people are just starting to wake up to if they received any kind of pharmaceuticals in the arm kind of thing, that pharmaceutical companies literally are in on a big genocide and or at least wanting to create, and this is what they've been since the dawn of their creation. They want to create people clients. They want to create clients. So everything to do with the pharmaceutical companies, and I believe even medical of any kind of officialdom medical system has all been created to make you sick. So they got a lifetime client out of you. So we're gonna start moving towards self-healing, and Brad talks a lot about how you can do that. And I know a lot of different healers that are working absolutely amazing, doing amazing things. We're going to move more to the woo of healing. That's really been
The deep
happening.
woo woo. Yeah.
Yeah. And the more they try to shut it down, like here in Canada, they really try to, so you can't get, natural products and things that naturally you could make cures with. Okay. They're trying to demonize that. Okay. The more people want it, like that's all going to break this year, I believe.
Yeah, and that's what I always suggest to everybody is like look into the alternatives, right? And again, we always go through the traditional. I'll call it the McDonald's healthcare, the
Yeah.
McDonald's healthcare system. And I said, if you guys are sick and tired of that, it's time just to expand yourselves, open up to new ideas, talk to healers, talk to alternative practitioners,
Yeah.
look into your therapeutic work. Like I said, the new technology that I'm launching here, this is going to be an app on your phone, and it's going to be free. And then you can get a premium version if you want to upgrade, but the free version is going to basically recharge your cells. So it's basically working with advanced scalar technology, it's working with biomagnetism, it's working with the Schumann resonance, it's working with the Fibonacci sequence to orient everything back into alignment and harmony. And again, there's other people that are also bringing about some really incredible things. So support them because they actually care about your health, whereas the traditional McDonald's healthcare does not. So that's very important as well too. So yeah, again, with 2024, it feels like again a lot of things are basically just being uncovered. It's kind of like we're just throwing out this big tarp and we're seeing kind of like all the cockroaches being spread out as well too there. So again, that's very important to know. 2024, again, I've always called it the year of overhaul, and we're seeing a lot of things on the point of overhauling here. Let's go to Maria Kaisa again. She asked that there is a worldwide spiritual organization called Connecting Consciousness. How are things developing there? Is it going to be an organization in service for humanity? What about the leadership in the organization right now? Let's not go with too many questions, Maria. Let's just kind of look into the idea of how are things developing with Connecting Consciousness. Thank you for your question.
Okay, it kind of looks like it's a lot of people stepping away from connecting consciousness, and a lot of people maybe discovering, and maybe it helped them initially, but that they can connect by just working on it themselves. See that card again? Going inside yourself, right? And this 10. So I'm not sure. Like I'm not getting it's not good for humanity. It works for some people, but there's going to be a mass exodus as well from groups in general that are spiritually helping people connect, because the real work is individually connect.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
interesting because the indigenous peoples, and not just in North America, but all over the world, already a lot of those spiritual practices knew that they'd go on vision quests, they'd go spend time alone to and come back more spiritually connected. But it wasn't, and they may have had guidance from wise, medicine people that had already done the work. Okay, but it doesn't make those medicine people above them. They're only guides for that, and helped help people do their own work. But whatever that person individually discovered about themselves, that wasn't mandated or anybody. There was no doctrine for that. That was personally a personal experience, and we all need to learn to do that. It's not like a group experience to find your inner knowing. And I think the age of Aquarius is going to really help with that, because age of Aquarius is more individual that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's the important thing, is remember that you are your greatest healer. If there are organizations that you're a part of, you know they're genuine when they're encouraging you to go within yourself,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
not relying on, oh, you have to come to us and we have the answer for you and all that stuff. And that's when you're basically being bamboozled. So it's
Yeah.
very important that if you do participate with groups, make sure that they're encouraging you for you to look within, for you to heal within, for you to work with, external aids. But again, it's all about you working together with you. And that's a very important point. Let's go to Caravel. Caravel Spices. Question: What Janine, can you tell us about the WHO Pandemic Treaty? The Pandemic Treaty is nearing the end of the negotiation and drafting phase, ultimately due to be signed by May of 2024. Will the government support it or not? Greetings from Greece.
Okay, so right there, let's revert back to all the governments are capitulated.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a theater. So you're watching them out themselves. The WHO was capitulated by Trump and his team of white hats. And the white hats, by the way, have been around for a lot longer than the Trump reign.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. They've been along since JFK Sr. In fact, I did a channeling on JFK Sr. and he, as good as said, basically he started it, the White Hat organization,
mm-hmm.
when he faked his death, actually.
Mm.
Yeah, because he had to get away from, because what they were going to do to him, the Khazarian mafia. And then they started the White Hat organization, and Trump's carrying it on for him. But there's been other people that have carried on, but they've had to be really secretive, especially once 9/11 hit. And they tried to shut it all down with that.
Well, they also talk about JFK Jr., about how he's helping out with Trump as well, too.
Yeah. So the question kind of is answered in the WHO is showing you their true colors. So they're outing themselves. So in what real reality, okay, if things were real in politics, just ask yourself this. Okay, so as people are suing the governments for making them take and illegally forcing them to take something into their bodies, okay, that was experimental and proved not to work, by the way, very clearly. So as everything comes out, why would the WHO find it a good idea to push forward with an agenda like that? Does that even make sense? Okay, so as they're being outed, they're also stepping and taking even more of your power away. Mm-hmm. Okay, don't you think maybe that's like a clue that they're outing themselves? So none of this stuff's going to stand if the governments all come down. So that's what I always get in the cards.
That's a signpost, right? This is where I say, guys, you got to watch the signposts. You got to see exactly what's happening here, right? Again,
you're trying to scare the real deep sleepers into actually seeing why they did the tribunals that they already did. They're going to have to explain those tribunals to sleepy people who mm-hmm. have no clue how demonic
really dumb it down quite a bit.
People are. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's go to anonymous attendee. They ask, can you talk about the real estate market in Texas? When is it best to sell and or buy? I will be looking into buying, but I'm not sure when it is time. I think now is too high price for me. So, real estate market in Texas.
Yeah, definitely not now. Give it a year.
Mm-hmm.
Or even 9 months. Okay, even 9 months. Whoops. Hang on.
Have to go through the administrations first, let them pass on, and that way let something new come in. Yeah.
Let everything change, and like there's a whole bunch of things coming that'll change things, and within 9 months to a year is a way better time to start, and then move fast.
Exactly. You got it.
Be ready to move then. Yeah, get your ducks in a row. But I think a lot will change. Like you want to wait till this financial system goes, if not down, because some people say they won't take it all the way down. They're just going to shift it. Mm-hmm. They're going to flip it. Okay, right at a critical point. So it's all been really well planned. That's what I've been getting for years even. I've been getting that. So once that shifts, you don't want to pay with those fake dollars right now for a
Right,
house.
right, exactly. Well, speaking of Texas as well too, like I was getting this question the other day about fires being started in Texas as well too, and they said, well, who is it that's behind the fires? Well, the very people that are trying to take down the border from these state guards, right? So you could say it's basically you could say the administration, right? And a lot of their kind of patsy federal officers basically starting arson, starting fires. Apparently, there's been reported occurrences of fires happening in Texas basically in that sense as threats to try and say, okay, well, do as we say and take the border, the enforcement boundary down, or else we start more fires. So have you got anything in regards to that? Has anybody said about the Texas fires?
I
Taking
got
place?
it was the war coming out in the open,
Mhm.
and it was minions of the deep state
The
government.
administration, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like flaring up with their little like last little, and
exactly.
of course they don't like Texas
No, no,
because
because there's
Texas
defiant.
is, yeah, they're trying to make changes and stuff, and I feel like it was some kind of revenge almost on
Yeah, these are
Texas.
the psyops that happen when again they're
Yeah,
not
and I
getting
feel
their
like it
way, and
got
so they have
shut
to
down.
threaten. Yeah, exactly. So,
I feel like the
no,
White Hats came and shut it down, and
yeah.
that's why it even ended as quick as it
Well,
did.
that's the good news. Is Texas is always going to stand its ground.
Yeah,
So that's something you guys never have to worry about. Like I said, we've pretty much have already prevailed. You just have to go through the clown show right now. So
yeah.
let's go to Oz here. Oz has a question. Hi, Janine. I'd like to know if there will be some kind of. Okay, this is already another market crash. We've already covered that. So let's go into the second part of the question. Is there some specific kind of beneficial technology for humanity that will be on the rise that we should be looking for? Radiate. So that's with the new app that I'm putting out as well too. That's something very, very powerful. And again, I've also talked very positively about EE systems as well too. That's Dr. Sandra Rose Michaels' technology as well too, and that's in like over 1,000 healing centers over the world right now. And it works with a very similar technology that I'm working with Radiate. But there will be quite a few different technologies. So other than mine and other than hers, Janine, what are you getting for the cards for other beneficial technology for humanity?
This is a revelation card and the Hanged Man. So this is becoming enlightened. So I feel like so many different things are going, like they've all been withheld, and all of a sudden we get our hands on it. Things that have been held up, we get our hands on. So there's lots of technologies. You named some of them. I think there's too many I don't think the cards aren't going to specifically talk about them. They're going to say there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be shocking to you how many have been kept from you, and we'll become enlightened about those. Okay, and some of them were like I feel like or known. They were literally patented, maybe even, and then taken off and or hidden. Maybe sometimes really wealthy companies buy the patents and then hide them and shelf them and don't, of course, develop them because they don't want that technology out there. So we're going to be very disappointed when we find out how much of this we already know and is known and has been known and is not that hard to actually create. Lots of people have already created it. Like you said, you mentioned some of them.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing is the reveal of what's already out there.
Exactly. And one thing I forgot to mention, of course, regarding beneficial technology as well too. One of the announcements was, again, we do have 22% discount store-wide off all products on Etherex. This is why you see etherex.co on the screen with Janine. So again, there's no discount code required. You can get 22% discount off everything on Etherex, right? So we have the brand new Source massage mats. I actually just sent Janine a flashlight not too long ago as well too. Have you tried that out, Janine? How's it
I
working?
have.
Yeah.
I have. It's interesting. It tends to give like almost like a boost of energy.
Yes, it
Like I have
does. Yeah.
a big issue with my ankle, and I know it's only an emotional thing,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But what happens to me is I get taken down in my hip, my knee, or something when something's going on emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
So when I set the light on it for an amount of time, usually about 10 minutes at a time, because I get bored of doing things, so I'll only do it for
Right.
about
Right.
10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I could be doing something else and I'll just have it
You only
aimed
need
at.
about 5 or 10 minutes with it,
Right.
anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It feels like it literally reboots the energy. It's almost like all of a sudden I got energy. I can walk longer. I can, yeah. So it's very interesting. It like
Yep.
reboots the energy in that area that it's focused on.
That's exactly what it's designed to do, and that's the scalar and that's the biomagnetism.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what you're getting. And again, as you can see on the screen here, we have the source flashlight here as a second image. I'm just putting up another image here for you. Then we have what's known as a source massage mat. And I've had people in that sense who said they've had really bad backaches, they've had a hard time walking. They've tried a couple sessions on our new source massage mat, and they're actually now starting to walk a lot better now. So again, all of this is available on etherics.co. I'm just putting this up because I forgot to mention it in the announcements segment. But again, you can go to etherics.co. Also this Sunday, we'll be doing an Etherics live stream, and I'll be giving away some products on Etherics as well too. So feel free to check out that. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to questions now. Let's go to Mita. Mita says, astrologically, so much happening this eclipse season, starting with there's a lot of eclipses that are coming up here too very soon. With this eclipse season starting with equinox and Ramadan finishing day after on the 9th. What is the global reading for all of us pertaining to eclipse season starting with the equinox? And I'm not sure. Ramadan finishing day after the 9th. Interesting. Okay.
So we've got these two cards in the now. So this is where we're sitting now. We've got that Eight of Cups, Seven of Cups, which is all smoke and mirrors. So almost everything we're hearing, certainly in the mainstream, but that's been for a long time. But even in the truther world, a whole bunch of fear porn and just like this feels like that Cliff High mentioned hyper novelty. Okay, where everything just seems so out of whack. We don't believe anything anymore. We don't know who to believe. We don't trust anything. That's what that card feels like. And we're right in that now. Certainly this community that would be watching a video like this, maybe not the normies, they're not there yet, but we're in it. So we're letting go of a lot of things that no longer serve us. A lot of people are going to be dropping different, maybe even people they used to listen to and or philosophies and theories about what things are going on. We need to be kind of careful, though, that we don't throw it all out because things are so crazy right now. Try to just maybe shelf it for a while and go back and look at it after this eclipse season, okay? So now we've got this ace in the middle. So that ace was between. I feel like it revives and shines light on. So through the eclipse season, I feel like by the end of it, we're going to have a lot better working sort of idea of what actually we keep and what we throw out. Okay, so we'll be able to sort through, and it's almost like it'll reset us to really know in our heart what the truth is. So if it feels really confusing during and moving into that season, just sit with that and try not to throw everything out. Leave it sitting and then sort through it after, because you'll have a lot better perception of it. It's almost like it'll give us clarity.
Exactly. Very good. Here's a question here from FDYMLK. Can you see if France will be getting better anytime soon? I actually had a question about France yesterday. I guess they're going through some very, very hard times, but I say in a way that's a good thing because that's going to lead to a very big awakening that's going to come about. So how things are going with France right now with their leader Macron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get
macaroni as well.
Yeah, exactly. They've been showing us how to do it. Like Canadian farmers are starting to do what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're taking their machinery and using it to spray on, cow manure all over the Parliament buildings and all the stuff they're doing there. It's like, wow.
There you go, right there.
Yeah, they're just they know how to tell it.
Yep. No, they do.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's Canadian convoys, there's American convoys, there's the UK convoys as well too. It's
So they've been working, all of those, they've been working really hard. This is France working really, really hard at uncovering all the lies and deception, right? And so they've been hard at it. I feel like they've been working really hard. And see that Three of Swords there? So I feel like they'll literally, so this is surrounding it, so this celebrating, they're going to literally take down their government. So they're working on it. They're going to literally, the government will step down and or get run out of town. Notice how the Mexicans are doing that too. We saw a video circulate where they took a truck and were backing it into the president's palace, and thousands of people were outside, cheering them on.
Yep.
Like I feel like France is going to be one of those areas where they literally chase their guys right out of.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
their parliament will be chased out of town. It
Yeah,
looks like.
absolutely. And it really just comes down to the point of non-cooperation. When they give you outrageous tax laws or
Yep.
outrageous laws that they're trying to get you to follow, say, nope, we're not going to do that. We're not going to
Yep.
cooperate. We're not going to do it all. What are they going to do, right? There's millions of you on the street. They're not going to be able to apprehend all of you, right? And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a lot more rallies. We're going to see a lot more protests. Coming out 2024 will be filled with that. And it's going to be happening country to country even more very, very soon.
Yep.
So thank you, FDY MLK, for your question. Here's one from Robin. How will? Oh no, okay, never mind. We were done that one. That was about carpentry. Okay, so will this is from anonymous attendee. Will silver rise in value, or will it be regulated in the new quantum financial system? Another question about silver. Get those ones quite a bit too.
So it's definitely controlled, and it's worth a lot more than what they're saying. And see that ace there in the middle? Okay, so that could change real quick here, real quick. And this is the near future outcome, which is all of a sudden moving in a direct, like this moves really fast. When things change with it, it changes. It changes really fast. So we've got the page. So like it starts off, so it starts, you're going to see it going up, and then by air, so then air sign month, the next air sign, what's our next air sign? Gemini.
Gemini, yeah.
So the time of Gemini, I feel like you've started to see it climb up. It doesn't overnight turn into a sensation, but it gets a lot better looking than what it looks like now. And we find out how it's been regulated. So they're going to out how it's fraudulently been regulated. Yeah, and that's going to make a lot of people really unhappy, like the awareness of that, how we've been duped. And a lot of people who haven't collected it, I feel like are going to be really sorry they haven't. Yeah, so within 8 months, you're really happy. It's way more than it was. So I don't think I feel like they take the regulation off, but it doesn't just go crazy. It feels like it goes up,
climbs up slowly.
Months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I got a few pieces of silver myself, so a lot of questions again around silver. It is going to be something that's going to be quite much more valuable than what we're seeing right now. It's just going to take some time for it to make that climb. Here's one from Susan. Susan says, will the cards tell us what kind of events will kick off the dominoes in the USA? So kind of looking at these sequential events that are going to lead to, perhaps in that sense, an even bigger event, a bigger event taking place. So what kind of events will kick off the dominoes in the USA?
I feel a fear event, a scare event of some kind. And this card says it'll be worrisome, but it's not necessarily what it appears. So you'll be safe, but you won't feel safe. And it'll create a lot of people looking inward and actually waking up. It's like a mass awakening event. And the beginning of it's going to be really scary. So we need to remember when a really scary thing happens, maybe remember that could be the event we're talking about. Right? So try to keep that in mind and keep calm. A lot of things that have been hidden, so for a really long time, get really out in the open, and a big awareness that they're going to bring to the public is the truth about adrenochrome, child trafficking, and human trafficking, things that have been hidden for a really long time. That's going to be a part of this event somehow, or it'll showcase that to us somehow. I don't know exactly what I'm talking about there. Or and the death card. Yeah. And then there could be several other things. So I don't think it's just one thing. Several things involved in this event. So it starts one thing and then it opens all the cans of worms here and changes everything forever. So nobody can ever go back to pretending they or believing that's a conspiracy theory, believing in their government anymore, believing in their systems. Like it feels like it ends all of that for everybody. So it's not exactly a Band-Aid ripoff, but it feels like it makes it impossible to be in denial about certain things. And some people won't deal with that very well. You know what I mean? You could have people going crazy, trying to take
It
themselves
feels
off.
kind of like the ATM scandal we were talking about earlier, about the idea of maybe not even being able to draw cash and all that stuff, and people worried about their money and their finances. So it could be something with that. It could also be, again, some other leading up events to that as well, too. So.
It almost feels like that starts everything. So the money thing starts everything.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
again, we may see again the complete and total transition of the monetary system. So that could scare quite a few people, from what I can tell. Okay, let's go to Oz here. Hello, Janine. Can you tell us how it is that some kids in Florida managed to get their hands on portal technology? Who gave them that tech and who developed it? Now, this comes from the Miami incident from the Bayside Mall, where you had a few teenager kids basically have like a portal device. They opened up the portal, and then they had these three big beings coming out. And I talked about this the other day as well, too. And maybe just looking into the cards about that whole event, about what happened at
Yeah.
Bayside Mall in January with the three
I looked into it.
extraterrestrials. Yeah.
I got several times I looked into it. And what I got was uh, those kids were planted maybe or even given that.
That's what I was getting to. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe they didn't even know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They probably
But
just thought
what
it was
it
maybe it
was,
was a facade or something like that. And they go,
it
oh
was
my
a
God.
cover up. They were covering activity that so I feel like some lizard type and or reptilian type bad guys were trying to escape through portals in the mall and or even tunnels like under the mall or like there's probably ways you can get below. Okay, and they were trying to make us an escape run, and they used that to distract. So they might have somebody might have even given those teenagers that, and they didn't even know what it was, and then they were just messing around with it, or they just knew a little bit about it and they thought it was cool, and they were gonna, I don't know, but somehow that was a distraction, and then in the middle of them cloaking with this situation that was going on, they were trying to escape. But I feel like all of those cars that came and that response was more white hat military and less because it was actually not police. It was actually white hat. And I feel like they were just disguised maybe as police so people wouldn't freak out because if a bunch of military came in, that would look even worse. And then they made up that story to cover it up. So that was the war breaking out where we could see it. And that's been going on.
Yeah, I do remember one of the teenagers basically had like welder's glasses on as well too when
Yeah.
they were trying to open up. So like I said, I don't think those teenagers will always be what we think they may be. Again, there's a lot of different sides to the story, but it definitely was an event that awoke a lot of people, right? So they're now realizing. Even when I did a channeling with a journalist about this, he even said, the real question is not so much about what you see in front of the scenes, it's what you see behind the scenes, about
Oh,
what this technology actually is. That's the questions that you need to
yeah.
ask a lot more. What is that technology? Do we have access to that technology?
Yeah.
Can that actually change the way we travel? Right?
Yeah.
More things like that. So it's a fascinating event to discuss. This one here is from Angel. Can you tell us about the future of backyard gardening? I never had a question like that before. Interesting. The future of backyard. I think, well, what I've kind of sensed is that more people are going to be opening up their places to basically offer neighborhood food, right? So you may have a lot more people opening up gardens. I'm actually just going to be starting a garden here myself in the near not too distant future. But it feels like gardening may be something that a lot more neighborhoods may start to cooperate with a lot more and basically being able to share in their abundance. So that's kind of what I've gotten, and we'll see what Janine shares with the cards.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would even say you'll be encouraged. There's going to be encouraging programs even, and people like lots of way you can learn how to do it. Like lots of people are teaching that on the internet and stuff like that. So it's a really good idea to start looking into it already. Because yeah, it's going to be the new way of the future. And I don't think we're going to have lawns anymore. If you think about it, lawns are very, well, they're just a waste of
They
space.
are.
Like,
They're
sorry,
just
but
really not good for anything.
it's absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I feel like a lot of people are going to be encouraged and move in the direction of gardening in their
Planting,
yard,
gardening,
not just the
sharing their,
back,
yeah,
front yard,
yeah, everywhere, sharing their
space, land.
abundance. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly what you said. They're going to need to. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to Susan again. Will the cards give us any information on when JFK Jr. will show himself publicly? I imagine he would be a powerful kind of New Earth ambassador and bomb to help currently asleep people understand what has happened to us. So any news of JFK Jr. will be showing himself publicly.
Interesting. So we're still waiting and still not like, so for safety reasons. Interesting. Staying safe. The world wants to stay safe, and then it's, taken some time. Okay, so that's where it sits right now. So no immediate plans to show themselves. And there's the near future. So it looks like everything would have to be out there first. So a lot of people would have to know what's been going on before he's going to step out.
Yeah, I get
So I
that too.
feel like he doesn't step out. Like he's not going to be what sets it all off. He comes out after and goes, yeah, and maybe backs up a lot of what's been shown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like a lot of things need to happen first. We have to kind of open up the gallery, so to speak, before we can bring people into the art show itself. So yeah, I think it'll still be some time. Same thing with like people asking about Princess Di and all of that. Right? These people in that sense who apparently have not left the Earth plane yet may just be again incognito, and at appropriate times when more revealing is happening, they may show themselves. It all just depends again when the stars deem it so for them to align. We're going to take two more questions, guys, and we're going to be wrapping up the webcast today. So this one here is from Monica. Monica says, how do you see the exit of Justin T and when? So if Justin T will be exiting stage left here very soon, and when that might be happening.
So whoever's playing him, so they've already made agreements, okay, made agreements in the past. So this has all been planned. So when you do see the tail end of him, it's all been planned. So we've got this. So he has something to reveal first, okay? So he's been revealing his true colors for a really long time, who the actual man Justin Trudeau really was.
Mm-hmm.
And or if he's still in Gitmo, I'm not sure if he's been processed or whatever, if he's still in captivity of some kind. But the guy you're seeing is not
It's
Justin
not him.
Trudeau.
No, it's an avatar.
No,
yeah.
several different actors actually.
Yeah.
So see that something still has to come out. So there's still things to reveal about him. Make it really obvious, like what he's been connected to. And it could have to do with pedophilia. It could have to do with something to do with children anyway, it looks like. Okay, so we've got that ace, but very strategic. They're being very strategic here. It'll be in this year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And see that 9 there? And the sun. So this is once the sovereign metal-backed money system comes. So just like Biden, the Biden fakery, that all seems to just get swept out the back door. All the governments, a lot of them might. I mean, France looks like they get taken down by their people, so that maybe they're doing that over there, just for an example of you could do it this way. But I feel like these guys in the West here, everything goes down and the money system shows itself that there's a new one that's metal backed, and then these guys get swept out.
Yep. I also get the feeling that we probably will see a new election in Canada this year, definitely not next year. So it feels like it's kind of around the corner, and I think once he gets ousted and basically exits stage left, that will follow with the idea of an election to come, if that's what you're getting in the cards as well.
Surrender the star. I feel like there could be a military sort of in between that, where they're showing themselves as who's really in charge for a while. good military, so that could be the white hat military
Interesting.
before, like what you're saying, an election. So I feel like then we might have to decide how do we want to go
Yeah,
forward.
as there's still kind of a transitional government that we put in
Yeah,
place while we
transitional.
get other things taken care
That's
of
a
as
good
well.
way to say it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we'll end this final question here, final question of the webcast with Seth Williams. Will directed energy weapons and any other satellite weapons systems that target and harass individuals or, again, countries in that way uh, by the SSP be destroyed by possibly a solar flare or otherwise dismantled completely by Alliance forces or other humans this soon if this year is least in most reality? So basically just asking, with a lot of these directed energy weapons, are they going to be dismantled? Are they going to be taken down with a lot of the frightening situations that they have caused?
That's a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. Not all of them have, but a lot of them have already.
Yeah,
But there's still some rogue elements
there are. Yeah.
as we see. Yeah, but yeah, that's happening as we speak. This was in the middle, so the nine of cups, so that's the wish and the desire. And they're working on it. And then the near future outcome. So that looks like by summer, even, we
Mm.
could be seeing where they're not, the bad guys aren't able to use them.
Yeah, my feeling is that they'll probably have those weapons apprehended and they may start to overhaul them because you can basically take a lot of that technology and use it for good, right? So it's the whole idea that we don't really have to destroy that technology. We
Yeah,
apprehend it and then we turn
yeah.
it around and turn it into something positive. Like one of the things that Dr. Sandra Rose Michael talks about, who again created the E systems, is that she was thinking of using satellites to basically broadcast the scalar across the entire planet, and you're basically seeing everything just getting revived very, very quickly. And she has all those kind of connections. So having technology like that, the beneficial tech, would be absolutely marvelous. So Janine, thank you again for being a part of the broadcast today. How can people find you? How can people get in touch with you?
Tarotbyjanine.com. That's my website.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pay website. I got kicked off of YouTube some time ago.
Yeah.
But I also am on Rumble a lot, and that's free, Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic because I'm part of that team. And we do several Rumble shows. I do one on Tuesdays, a quick pick if you like what I do. And again, that's Rumble for free without the censorship of YouTube. So it's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we also do a great newscast show. It's called the Beyond the News on Thursday nights on Rumble.
Excellent. And I'm going to be talking to Jean-Claude as well, too, because like I said, I'm going to be looking into advertising Radiate and seeing how we can do with them. Maybe I'll pop on a show by request at some point, too. But Janine, it was great to have you on once again. Thank you so much for all of your sharing, all of your great information through the cards, and we look forward to having you again very soon. Thank you for today.
Thanks, everybody. Bye,
Right.
Brad.
Bye for now. All right. So again, everybody else, thank you so much for joining me for this special episode of Wisdom Transmissions Gathering. Again, a reminder that we now have a discount offer for Etheric, so it's 22% discount store-wide off all products in Etheric. You do not need a discount code. Just go to etherics.co. The sales prices are already deducted, and I already have that 22% discount. As Janine told you, like I said, I gave her a gift of a flashlight, and she's been using it, and she's noticing that energy coming through, and that's scalar technology, that's biomagnetism. You're going to find out a lot more about that, especially if you go to the Radiate website. Okay, so again, the Radiate website is open. It is on right now. It's online. It's radiateapp.com. So like I said, it's all about scalar, biomagnetism, rejuvenation app. We have a free version. This will be launching sometime in April. We don't have an exact date yet, but I'd say probably between mid to late April. And again, you can download the app. You can use the free version right away. If you like what you're getting from the free version, you can always upgrade to the premium version, and the premium version is $33 for a one-time payment, and you have it for life for as long as you have the app. The good news also is you can use this app on multiple devices, because the more that you're actually able to work with more screens, preferably screens that are about the same size and same shape, and then you mirror them together, what you're doing is you're actually getting a big boost. Now again, you can also do it if there are different shapes and sizes, but you won't get that same kind of efficiency. So if you have, say for example, 2 phones or 2 tablets or 2 TVs or 2 laptops that are of the same make, and you put that together in a mirror fashion where they're mirroring each other, you're basically getting a much more incredible potency boost. So I'll be talking a lot more about that as we get more revealing through radiateapp.com. This is really going to be a revolutionary technology. I'm really going to be dedicating a lot of my energy to spreading this out far and wide because everybody should have this on their phone. This is the capstone of etherics. So check that out, radiateapp.com. Again, thank you very much for joining me today on this special episode, and I will speak to you again, guys, next week for the episodes of Wisdom Transmission Gathering on Wednesdays at 10, and of course the Signposts, which is taking place on Rumble at 10 a.m. on Thursdays as well. This Sunday, I will also be doing an Etherics live stream, and again, you can go to the YouTube Etherics live stream, youtube.com/Etherics store. Thank you, guys. Take care. Blessings to you all. Namaskar, and may it be well with you. Bye for now.